would be helpful. Yep, here we go. I think it would be helpful to do a couple of these with you. So this is your homework. State if the two triangles are congruent. If they are, state how you know. So for this one, for number 1, you see how we have a shared side right here. This middle side is shared. So really we have two sides here, and we do have a pair of angles. So again, if it helps, draw this out. That's a horrible drawing, but you get my point. So we know that those two angles are congruent, those two sides are congruent, and those two. So when we have two sides like this, that angle has to be included, right? If that angle is not in between them, then we cannot say that these triangles are congruent. So no, we can't prove with the information that we know that these triangles are congruent. For number 3, yes, we can, because we see that we have this side that is shared between the two, right? So we have 1, 2, 3 pairs of sides. So that would be yes, by the side postulate, we know that those are true. Okay, for number 5, all they gave us was an angle and a side. And there's nothing up there that has an angle and a side. It's just not enough information. Okay. Let's see. I'll do a couple of these. For number 4, let's see here. 8 and 10 are really easy. 9, I'm sure you'll get. Let's see. Yeah, I'll do number 4 with you. So here for 4, we have vertical angles, right? So now we have an angle here. We have vertical angles, and we have a side that's where it's in between them, right? So we have angle, side, angle. So we know that this works by angle, side, angle. With number 6, we have the same thing. So again, we have vertical angles here, and we have a hypotenuse. So there's multiple ways that we can prove this. The way that I see is hypotenuse leg, right? Oh, no, I'm sorry. They didn't give us the hypotenuse. Nope, so we can't do that. So when you have a right angle, the first thing you see, you might jump to conclusions like I just did and say, oh, that's got to be hypotenuse leg because it's a right triangle. Well, they didn't tell us that the hypotenuses were congruent, so we can't necessarily say that. However, they did give us an angle, a side, and an angle on both of these, right? So that's going to be angle, side, angle. All right, let's see. For number 9, you see that we do have vertical angles here, so we know that they are congruent. And now we have side, angle, side on both of these, right? So that will be SAS. I'll let you finish the others. The backside, people get really confused with this, so I definitely want to make sure that I cover it. It says state what additional information is required to know that these triangles are congruent for a certain postulate. Okay, so what they've given us is angle, side, angle, right? Angle, side, angle. So they're asking, hey, we've given you a couple of things. What's one other piece of information that we need to be able to prove angle, side, angle? So they gave us an angle here, and they gave us a side. We know that that's congruent. So what do we need? We have an angle, we have a side. We need one more angle. So if we knew that these two angles were congruent, then we could say, yes, angle, side, angle. Then we would know that it works. So the piece of information that we need is that angle DUT is congruent with angle TUS. Okay, I hope that kind of helps. I'm going to keep going through these, trying to figure out which ones I want to do. I want to give you some challenging ones too. I'll just go down and do the odds, and I'll let you do the evens. For 13, SAS, side, angle, side. So they've given us a side, and they've given us an angle, and they're asking, how do we prove it by side, angle, side? Well, they gave us a side and they gave us an angle. We need another side, right? And we need that angle to be in between the two sides. So it would have to be this one. We would have to know that those two sides are congruent, that CA would be congruent to LJ. If we knew that, then we'd be able to prove it by side, angle, side. Same thing for 15. Well, that's another side, angle, side. I'll let you do that one. I'll go over 16. Angle, side, angle. So for this one, we have an angle, and we have a side. Angle, side. We need another angle. But not just another angle. We need an angle where the side would be in between. So obviously that would have to be LAB. and T. But I want you to see how let me do that in black. L and T would be the other two that we need to know. But in red, the wrong answer, if we had K and U, you see how we would not have angle side angle because that side would not be in between, right? That would be like angle side or something like that. So be very careful with what they ask for. Make sure that you are including what needs to be included and putting them in between. So we would need to know that angle L is congruent with angle T. And lastly, 17 is pretty easy. I'll do 18 with you. Side, angle, side. So here, all they gave us were these two sides. And they say, hey, figure it out the rest. Well, we know with vertical angles that we do have an angle here, right? So technically they give us two things. And then lastly, how could we prove side, angle, side? Well, we have a side, we have an angle. We need that third side, and we need to make the angle in between. So that would have to be U and have to be K. So we would have to know that angle U